If someone was flying out to Croatia tomorrow, what are the essential phrases they must have in their back pocket?
Oh, there's a lot. It depends where they're going. It depends at who they are, because you've got people that are going straight down to Split and Makarska to party. You've got people that are excited to sit in a cafe in Zagreb. I would say if we're probably going to say something quite, basic and transferable, I would say a major connecting point is obviously food and restaurants. So it would be something like Dobar tek is always very helpful, especially if they're meeting up with a group, if they're hosting family and whatnot, to be able to say, enjoy your meal, to be able to share that before they go, before they enjoy their meal. I would say this is actually quite specific to me because I'm quite pedantic about this, but just to be able to know the difference between kako si and kako ste, because people will
Mm.
find that in Croatia, this is something that in Australia we take for granted big, big time. The fact that in certain contexts, you need to have that formalized tone. So walking into someone's house who you haven't seen, or you're meeting someone's in-laws and just hitting like the kakosi can be seen as rude if some people's families are quite particular. And it's not even elderly people, right? It's even like talking to someone in the shop. They're a stranger. You need to address them as kakoste in that formalized tone. So learning those little nuances as well is going to be a major help, because yeah, the last thing you want is to be getting a side eye from someone thinking we're not mates. Why are you addressing me as he? Um, Apart from that, maybe the phrase hoćemo na piće, would you like to go for a drink? Or like hoćemo na kavu, very common in Croatia as well, with the whole drinking coffee culture, idemo na kavu all the time. Quite similar to what you see in the CBD, to be honest. But yeah, to be able to say, even if you just run into someone on the street, idemo na kavu, idemo na chai, idemo na piće, whatever it may be, whatever time of day it is. And even, okay, for someone that's not as confident with their Croatian, just to be able to, ask the phrase, znate li pričat engleski? To be able to work out, does this person know how to speak English or Croatian? And then anything in that realm, or, ja sam iz Australije, I'm from Australia. That's a good phrase to know because it's not gender dependent. So ja sam iz Australije. And then you can obviously say, mama je Hrvatica or tata je Hrvat. My dad is Croatian or my mum is Croatian, depending on whose side of the family it may be coming from. So there's definitely, yeah, a lot, but hopefully that kind of ticks into like the socializing, a bit of airport conversation, and a bit of, yeah, just some differences that are important to note.
Is there a phrase or any words that someone asks you straight up, I'd want to know what this is? Because I know when I came to Australia when I was 5, so all I could speak was Croatian. And the first thing my mum taught me was in English, may I please go to the toilet? That was the best I could ask to go to the toilet when I was in school. So yeah, there are any phrases that someone straight away says, I want to know what this is?
I would say people come to me with song lyrics and say, like, what's this song saying? Because it's like they know a few words, but especially in songs, like we see this in poetry and even just in English language, that, a word can, when it's used in an artistic or lyrical way, mean something really different. Because even like you've got songs like that are describing, like, I don't know, what's the song off the top of my head? Like Tai Chi, Hajde da ludujemo, that song. It's like tvoje su usne kao čokolada. And people are like, what? Chocolada? But it's like explaining, you have these, like in English, you have similes and metaphors, like they use that as well. So people definitely ask me a lot about that when they draw two words together that don't necessarily make sense. Definitely. A lot of people, I notice, they know a lot of those short phrase words like ajmo, idemo, ne znam, može. So they want to kind of build on sentences in regards to that. But in terms of essential phrases, I would say, yeah, people, it honestly depends on the student completely.
Mm.
Some people do a big thing people bring up is they will say, I know a word like machka, but then why do people then say machku, machke, machki? They're like, are these all different words? So then it's like delving into the conversation of how Croatian pardeji or cases work, which is a whole nother ball game. So if someone's a true beginner, I always say, let's just focus on like some of the introductory stuff first. because the Croatian cases are like big enough to give anyone a headache. So yeah.